feel like, I mean, we had a lot of conversations about this story and how to, I'm playing 17 to almost 30 years old. So it's a big span of life to cover. And the biggest thing I think he wanted me to focus on was to make sure that there was a transition between, her adolescent teenage years to being a young adult and, going from this like rebellious child to this young woman who enters into college trying to pursue a career in journalism, truth seeking, and kind of navigating this really dynamic, dysfunctional relationship with her father throughout it all. But his main thing for me was just don't do anything that feels false, which I think was really the most helpful piece of advice he gave me. John is such a great character because he's so multifaceted and he's this charmer. That's the way he gets away with everything. And, but he's also, this cheater of life. Like he never wants to take the straight and narrow path. He's always trying to find some easy way around. And he's also in search of this American dream, but in these really sketchy ways. And I think my dad brings a real levity to this. I mean, it is a really tough story, and I think he brings these really light, funny moments. So she's applying to college, and she's, with this counselor showing her writing for the first time. And she's also showing this like false manuscript of her high school years, which is uncovered throughout this interview. And I think it's the first time that she realizes she can't escape her past. It's always going to be a part of her. And instead of trying to hide it, use it to propel her into this career of journalism. It's coming off of right after her travels through California and after she's lost her dad to prison and just trying to find herself and not really knowing who she is and trying to find her footing without the, branding of her dysfunctional family. But unfortunately, it follows her to college and she tries to play it off like it's not a piece of her, but it is. And I think it's the first time that she realizes she has to own that. And even though it's a part of her past, she's separate from that. She's an independent woman looking for something else. So yeah, that scene is really, I think, a really pivotal piece of her story. That she this is just something that she has to do for herself, even though, she has this thing attached to her of her past, of her dysfunctional relationship with her father and her mother. And yeah, I think, like I said before, she's just a seeker of truth, and journalism is, something that gave that to her. I mean, I think the music is like another character in a movie. I think it's so important for the mood and to tell the story itself. And I always felt like it should be a female voice because this is really Jennifer's story. So we went through, there were a lot of people being thrown around, but I've always been a big fan of Cat Power, and I feel like she has something haunting about her voice that really adds to the emotional aspect of this film. Yeah, Eddie Vedder, Glenn Hansard, I mean, they were very instrumental in this. And then obviously Joe Vitarelli's score is so beautiful and like simple and just kind of enhances the movie. And I think just Eddie, Glenn, and Kat were so connected to the film from the get-go. I mean, they saw one of the roughest cuts and started writing according to what they saw. So I think it just like creates such a seamless thread because of that. Oh, I lost it when I heard the first song that they did together. I've known Olivia since she was a baby, so it was kind of crazy hearing this like young woman sing with and Eddie's so. It's very similar, I feel like, with me and my dad. Like, can I match his talent? And Olivia blew it out of the water. And she's very close with Eddie, and I think that really comes through. And she just has the most beautiful voice. So I think we're really lucky to have both of them on this soundtrack. I think everybody can connect to this story. I think there's just so many pieces that are, everyone goes through in relationships. And I think especially daughters, connecting this story to their relationship with their father. But yeah, I think just a big piece of it is finding your own identity, which everyone is familiar with.